Hi, welcome to Perpetual Fitness Training. My name is Holly, and today I'm going to be your yoga instructor. I have another wonderful session for you today. We have done the low back before, but this one is actually going to be for the entire back. We are going to stretch and strengthen that spine to hopefully bring you out of any pain or uncomfortableness that you have in that back. We are going to start on the floor, but first, please make sure that you have a strap, a block, and some nice quiet music playing. Make sure you're in a place where you can really relax and focus on the stretch. If you are distracted, yoga definitely doesn't work as well. So try and give yourself just a little bit of time just for yourself. You can do this workout in its entirety, or you can just do the first half one day, maybe the second half another day. Whatever you can work in is better than doing nothing. So go ahead and grab your props, grab that music, and let's go ahead and go to the floor. All right, now that we have made it to the floor, we're going to slowly come all the way back. So all the way down. And we're actually going to start this practice in corpse pose or shavasana. You're just going to take those legs out straight, hands come next to the body. So I'm going to show you traditional shavasana first. Those shoulders are relaxed back. Just think about them melting back. There are weights on the very back of that shoulder, on that rear delt. And those weights are drawing those shoulders back toward the mat. The hands are relaxed. You can do palm up. You can do palm toward the body, but just allow those fingers to relax. Think about releasing through the hips. So same kind of thing. You have weights on the back muscles there in your low back and glute, and they're just pulling those hip bones down toward the mat. Think about relaxing through the low back and releasing any tension in the glutes. The legs are extended straight with those legs open naturally in that hip joint. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, of course, I want you to find a different position. A popular position is knees bent, also reclined butterfly. Or you can roll over onto your side. That's a great one, especially if you're in the last 2 trimesters of a pregnancy, and laying on your back is not recommended. So from here, wherever you are, I want you to close those eyes. And all you're going to do is just focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, as you're aware of that breath, I want you to see if you can inhale deeply. Think about filling up the rib cage. And slowly and in control, exhale, knitting those ribs back together. Again, inhale, feel free to place those hands on that rib cage. And slowly exhale. Now, if you were just watching this yoga video and not participating, that's fine. See if you can do this breathing with me. Nice big inhale into that chest. And slowly exhale, bringing those ribs back together. One more time. See if you can breathe even deeper. Keeping that belly tight, and exhale, slowly releasing. Now I want you to find a rhythm of breath that works for you. Continue breathing into that chest if you'd like. That helps to work those breathing muscles. Or you can switch to a more traditional breathing pattern, which is down into the belly. As you're focusing on the breath, you're feeling the eyes release. They're just relaxing back. You're releasing any tension or expression from around the eyes, the forehead, and the temples. Just feel that jaw let go. Relaxing through the neck and down the back. Again, feeling those shoulders opening down toward the mat, opening up that chest. Relaxing the elbows and fingertips. Let the kneecaps float. Relax those feet. I want you to focus on any spots of your body that are still holding on to tension and see if you can exhale that tension away. Just think about releasing that muscle. Focus in that mind on that area that's tight and tell your mind to let that muscle or that tension go. We're going to take one more deep breath here. Nice big inhale. And on the exhale, just relax it away. All right, from here, let's just go ahead and bend our knees. Take your time. Make sure that strap is near you. Mine is not. I left it down by my feet, so go ahead and grab that strap as gracefully as you can. You want a loop in the strap, or if your strap doesn't make a loop, you can grab each end of the tether. From here, we're going to go ahead and place the right foot into the strap. You're going to straighten the leg. So that means if you have to drop that leg, I want you to drop that leg. I want the leg straight. I want you tightening through your knee, and I want you pushing your heel away from you. So think about tightening up through the quad, the front of the thigh. That will tighten that knee. Pull your toes towards your shins, which will help push your heel toward the ceiling. You're going to really feel the back of this leg light up. Right? You're going to feel that nice stretch. Those shoulders are relaxed back. So we're not straining or rounding to reach up to the leg. Nice and relaxed. We're just holding the leg here. I want you to just imagine that this nice long femur bone is just dropping back into the floor. Release the hip. So there's no tension around that bone. It's able to just relax down. As you're pushing the heel and pulling the toes, think about relax or straightening out that left leg. And this leg isn't just straight, it's active. So it's reaching away from you. Go back to relaxing the femur, relaxing the hip. If you don't feel anything, all you do is bring that leg a little closer toward the head or a little more up toward the ceiling. You're trying to just bring that foot right out of the hip. That's kind of your goal. If you can go beyond that, that's great. If you're below that, all you're doing is just working to get that leg up. Shoulders relaxed. Also keep in mind, please, that this is just the beginning. So you're going to be at your tightest at this point in time. But you may be asking yourself, why are we stretching the back or the hamstring to relieve the back? And actually the answer is because a lot of times our hamstring muscle being tight can pull on our pelvis, which is where it attaches, and that can cause pain or uncomfortable or tight muscles in the back. It can cause dysfunction. All right, we're going to go ahead and bend the knee, and we're just going to remove the strap. We're going to place the right foot on the floor, and we're going to repeat that with the left. So bringing the loop or the strap around the foot. Taking that leg straight wherever that is for you, pulling up on the kneecap, so tightening through the quad, pushing the heel toward the ceiling, so you're pulling your toes toward your shin. You're relaxing through that hip, letting that femur just drop back, relaxing those shoulders. Everything's relaxed. And then we're going to go ahead and straighten out that right leg. It's active. We're trying to press the back of the knee toward the floor. Holding here, recheck that hip, make sure it's nice and relaxed, and hold. You can close your eyes here and breathe. Try not to bring any tension into the belly either. Just trying to be nice and relaxed. As it starts to release, if you want to bring it a little further toward the ceiling, that's great, but do try to keep it right in the center of the body, so we're not opening it to the outside or inside. Also double check that you're pushing the heel. I got a little lazy there and I wasn't pushing my heel up. So now that I am, I'm reigniting those muscles. I'm really feeling that great stretch. All right, you're going to give me one big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bend that knee and we're going to release it. So we can go ahead and place that strap just off to the side. Placing the foot on the floor, we're going to go ahead and bend both knees. We're going to take the right ankle over the left knee. We are going to push that right knee away. Now, when we do that, if you really feel it in the hip, I want you to stay right here. This is all about how it feels to your body. So everyone will be different. So if you feel this stretch in the hip, I want you to hold it here. If you think you can go a little further, the next option is to bring those legs closer to the body and to reach through and grab the thigh. Shoulders are relaxed. Try to think about relaxing the tailbone. So we're not bringing any tension into it. We're not trying to lift that tailbone up. Just relax through that tailbone. Now from here, if you want to go a little further, your next option is to reach through and grab the shin with both hands. Flexing both feet, relaxing the tailbone. We're going to hold it here. Feel the abs relax. Feel those shoulders roll back. Again, we're not straining or reaching. We should feel this deep in that hip joint. It should feel relieving, like we're getting a nice stretch. And let's go ahead and release that down. We are going to plant the right, and we're going to just bring, sorry, I'm laying on my wire. It started to hurt. So now we're going to bring the other foot across, left ankle across right knee. We're going to bring those legs closer to the body. We're going to flex those feet. We're going to reach through and grab the thigh, or you can keep the foot on the floor and press the knee away. And then we're going to go ahead, if you'd like to, and just bring the hands to the shin, but we're not straining or rolling to reach it. And if there's any pain in that knee when you grab the shin, then I want you to back up and go back into holding onto that hamstring or the back of the thigh. Flexing both feet, shoulders relax, release any tension in the tailbone. Hold and breathe. Nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to release both feet to the floor. So just walking those heels close to the body, we're going to roll over onto our right side. And this right arm is going to extend out as we adjust onto our sides in a comfortable position. So you want those knees just about out through the hips, and they are stacked knee to knee. So we're not rolling that hip back. Make sure those hips are stacked and those knees are stacked. Your head just releases to the floor in a nice relaxed position with that right arm straight out. We're going to go ahead and take the left hand and we're just going to place those palms together. We're going to move 3 times. Take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, we're just going to start to reach up, and with our gaze, we're going to look over that left shoulder until we feel the pull, and then we're going to go ahead and come back to the center, back to the start. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, opening up. We're just waking up that spine and coming back to the center. All right, we're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to hold it out. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Come on, all the way open, allowing that left arm to just drop to the floor. As you exhale, you're just releasing tension. If If anything starts to cramp or bother you, you just gently come out of it or come up a little higher. All right, take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're just going to gently bring it up. And we're going to bring those hands together. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. I'm going to flip over, but you can just roll over. And so this time we're going to come out with the left arm out. The head's relaxing down. Those knees are straight out of the hips. Those hips are stacked, so our knees are stacked. We're going to go ahead and take the right hand on top. Just let the head relax. Take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're just going to gently open. We feel the pull anywhere along the spine. We're going to hold, inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring those hands back together. Inhale. On the exhale, we move. Hopefully a little more open. Inhale. Exhale, coming back to the center. Deep inhale. And another big exhale. And just think about letting that right arm drop toward the floor, relaxing through the shoulder. Of course, you can have that arm on a block if that's the most comfortable for you. You're gazing back at that right hand, or your gaze can be up at the ceiling. You're closing those eyes and just resting back in this pose. This is going to help open up our spine and our torso. Breathe as deeply as you can. Take a nice big inhale. And as we exhale, let's just slowly come back to the center. This is actually one of my favorite poses. I love this one. All right, from here, we're going to gently press ourselves up into a seated, cross-legged position facing forward. So you can be at the front of your mat. I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to be in this nice stacked position. So wrists to the knees, relaxing the shoulders down, but the shoulders are stacked on top of the hips. What that means is you're not leaning forward or you don't have this excessive lean back. I want you to think you're rooting down through those sits bones. You can just go ahead and move those glutes out of the way if you like, to really feel those sits bones settle down into the mat. You're releasing the muscles in the crease of the hip, and that allows the knee to drop down toward the floor. You're lifting up through the heart and through the crown of the head. Just think about growing inches in that spine. Focusing on that breath. Release the tension in the hips. Relax those knees. Focus on your nice, relaxing music. Feeling the tension leave the body. Take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to bring the chest down toward the floor. Now, I want you to think of this as a pelvic tilt. So we're not rounding in the back to come down. We're actually trying to take our tailbone behind us and reach it back behind us as we reach out with the top of the head and bring the hip bones to the thighs. Once you feel the pull through the low back, you're going to hold right here. You're still reaching out through the crown of the head, again, trying to grow inches in that spine. And now nice and slow, we're just going to sway side to side. This is very small. We're just trying to warm up through those QL muscles or low back muscles. Just wake everything up. We have erectors down there. There's all kinds of things in that low back that attach to the hips as well as in the lower legs that attach to the hips. Lots of stuff attaches to the hips. So if something goes out, you can see how it can easily throw off other things along that spine. They're all connected. All right, let's go ahead and take this into a bigger movement. So we're really going to move side to side. As we do this, we are not lifting the glutes or sits bones off the mat. Those are still rooted down. We're heavy in the hip. And as we reach across, we're really feeling a deeper stretch through that low back. Should feel good, relaxing. And let's go ahead and come to the center. We're going to slowly roll up. I want to change the leg that's in front. So just take a moment. If you need an extra break, you can give a little zhuzh. Come back in when you're ready. Up nice and tall. Again, finding those sits bones, rooting down through the sits bones, reaching up through the crown of the head. Let's go ahead and pelvic tilt, bring the chest down. We're going to hold it here again. Maybe you can get just a little bit deeper, but we're not rounding the back to get deeper. We are tilting that pelvis more. And now we're just going to do a real quick side to side movement as far as you can, keeping the opposite hip heavy. So as you move to the right, the left hip is heavy. As you move to the left, the right hip is heavy. Let's go through it one more time. So we're going to come over to that right side and we're going to hold it on that right side. We're heavy in this left side. It's all just pressing down toward the floor. We're going to go ahead and take those hands out right here. Those shoulder blades are down, reaching out through the crown of the head. So now we're stretching down that left side. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you're going to take the left hand and place it on top of that right hand. Relax your shoulders down, reaching out through the crown of the head, heavy in the left hip. Keeping that left sits bone rooting down into the mat, belly tight. Think about breathing into the low back, right where you feel that stretch or that gentle pull, and just breathe here. Another favorite stretch of mine. One more time. And releasing center. Shoulders down. And let's go ahead and gently move to that other side. So over the left knee. Now we're reaching out and stretching the right side. Hands are right next to each other on the floor, or the right hand is on top of the left. Shoulders down. Reaching out through the crown of the head. Heavy through the right side and right sit bone. Breathing into that spot. You may find one side has a bit more feeling, we'll say feeling, than the other side. That's perfectly normal. One more time, big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to come to the center and then just gently come on up. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down. We're going to go ahead and move up into all fours into tabletop. So gently take your time, find your way into tabletop. In tabletop, your fists or your hands are directly underneath those shoulders. If this is too much on the wrists, the fist is a perfectly acceptable way to modify so that you can still get the benefits of tabletop without putting that extra pressure on the wrist. The knees are right underneath those hips. And you're just drawing the shoulders down, reaching out through the crown of the head, and keeping that pelvis in neutral. So you're not dropping and you're not rounding. We are going to move into cat and cow, so we will be intentionally doing that. But at first, we're just going to start in that neutral spine. Take a nice big inhale. We're going to drop the belly. We're going to look up. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, drop, look up. This is cow. Exhale, tuck and round into mad cat. Pull the chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone. One more time. Inhale, drop, look up. Cat and cow is so good for the spine. Exhale, tuck and round. And we're going to come back to the center, finding that neutral again. We're going to go ahead and move the right foot forward to the front of our mat. So you can either just go ahead and step through, Or if that movement does not work for you, you can grab a hold of that leg and bring it forward. As soon as it's forward, we're going to think about sinking those hips down. And as we sink the hips down, we're not allowing that knee to go over the ankle. You should be able to lift those toes. If you find that you're on the toes, then what I want you to do is go ahead and bring that foot closer to the front of the mat. We're going to sink down and we're going to start with hand on either side of the foot. You can be on a block or 2 blocks. You can also come up to the thigh, whatever works for you. Think about taking those hips and bringing them toward the floor without allowing that knee to go past that ankle. Shoulders are relaxed. If you want to take that belly to the inside, that's a great way to get deeper. And now think about relaxing through the hips. And now let's go ahead and draw this right leg back. And we're going to replace it with the left. So again, bringing that left foot forward, maybe grabbing a hold of it if you need to, sinking down, knee over ankle. Reaching back with the right leg. You can scoot it back a little bit if you need to, and just drop those hips, hands on either side, on a block or blocks, or up on the thigh. Press those hips toward the floor, belly to the inside, shoulders relaxed, reaching out through the crown of the head. And you can be on fingertips or you can be all the way flat in those palms. Just depends on your range of motion. Focusing on the breath. Releasing any tension. We're not holding on to anything in the hips. And let's go ahead and bring it back. We're coming back into tabletop. Just drag that leg back, finding your way back into that tabletop position. We're going to go back to the right foot forward. So again, bringing that foot forward. Maybe you need to walk that left leg back a little bit so that when you sink, your knee and ankle stay stacked. We're starting in that lower position. So we're really just trying to release the tension through the hip. We're already warmed up a little bit, so this shouldn't be quite as shocking. From here, we're all going to come up to the thigh. Shoulders relaxed. It can be forearms. It can be hands. But those shoulders are relaxed and you're not coming back into this back leg. I want you to think about pushing everything forward. Shoulders are down. Reaching out through the top of the head as you reach to the floor with your shoulders. If you'd like to go a little further, the next option is to take those arms up. Gaze should be out straight. Maybe you want to bring a little back bend into this. Hands stay where they are. We reach up with the heart and the gaze. Maybe just staring straight up out of those hands. Maybe we can sink a little more into those hips and we can keep coming back, trying to make our spine into a rainbow. It does affect the balance to take the gaze up. So if you need to, keep that gaze straight. Release in those hips. Hands to your heart all the way down. We're going to bring that leg back. And we're going to change it with the other. So let's go ahead and bring the left forward. Sinking down, shoulders relax, tummy is tight. Feel the release before you move up into the thigh. Hands or forearms, pressing those hips down, shoulders are over those hips, stacked up, gaze is straight ahead, reaching out through the crown of the head. Now let's go ahead and reach those arms up if you can, without tightening through those hips. That's the key. Now maybe we take our gaze up. Maybe we lift our heart and try to make our back into a little rainbow. Shoulders are down, fighting for that balance. You'll feel your body adjusting and shifting. That's great. Breathe into that belly. Let the body do what it needs to do. You just stay relaxed. One more breath. Hands to your heart, gently come on down. Very nice. We're going to go ahead and drag this leg back. And let's just go ahead and sit back a little bit. So just coming back into child's pose. If your knees are tight, you can use a block to come back on. The arms reach out, the head drops down, and you're releasing any tension. Really feel the release through the low back as well. And now we're going to gently come on up. So we're back into that tabletop position. We're going to go ahead and step forward with that right foot and then with that left foot. And we're going to push off and find our way into a forward fold. So now the belly is pulled in nice and tight. Those legs are straight but not locked. But we definitely don't have a bend. Make sure they're straight. You should feel the hamstring. The hands are on a block. They're on the floor, or if you don't have a block, they're on the body. The crown of the head drops to the floor, so there's no tension in that neck. Pull your belly in so you can bring as much of your chest and rib cage onto the thighs. Think about tilting that pelvis, taking the tailbone to the ceiling. Hold and breathe. And now we're going to go ahead and bend the knees. We're going to press through those feet. We're going to slowly ragdoll up. So pushing through the feet, slowly coming up one vertebrae at a time, stacking shoulders over hips, and just give it a little shoulder roll at the top. We're going to go ahead and do that forward fold again, but this time we're going to come back into a yoga lock. There are a lot of ways you can do this. You can just take those hands. You can grab the wrists. You can grab the elbows, or you can grab the strap. The strap is a great option for anyone that has shoulder or chest mobility issues. Or if you just want to kind of expand your range of motion, you're going to fold it in half and grab those hands as close or far away from each other as you like. The further away, the more range of motion you will have. So let's go ahead and just take that behind the back, or you're interlacing your fingers, or you're grabbing a hold of those wrists, forearms, or elbows. Squeeze those blades, pull them back and down. Lift out through the top of your head. Your feet are rooting down into that mat. Soft knees, tailbones tucked slightly. Those abs are nice and tight, supporting the body. Take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, keeping the hands to the body, we're going to slowly swan dive down. Once our back starts to round and we drop the head to look between the legs, then we take those arms off the body and start to drop them toward the floor. You can close your eyes here or keep them open, but the belly is nice and tight. Those legs are straight. We are gripping the mat with those toes and just relaxing through the shoulder. You want to feel the stretch and release somewhere in that shoulder area. If there is pain, I want you to relax those hands to the floor and just do a forward fold. There never should be pain in yoga. It's a gentle pull, but never pain. Hold here and breathe. On your next exhale, see if you can get just a little deeper. Your chest is closer to those thighs. The hands are dropping a little closer toward the floor, staying centered over the arch of the feet. And let's go ahead and take those hands back to the low back. Release and come back into a forward fold with those hands on the floor. If you have a block nearby, go ahead and grab it. You're going to bend those knees and we're just going to slowly come up. At the top, we're just going to shoulder roll. All right, so we are going to step back into a triangle position. So it is a narrow warrior pose. Back foot parallel to the floor. The front heel is standing on the same line as the arch. Okay. We are going to, if you would like to, you can use that block and just place it to the inside of the toes. You can also have it more flat, right? You have the 3 different levels of it. You can also just move it off to the side if you know that you can reach the floor, or if you don't have a block, you're going to use that body. So the warrior feet are going to stay, but we're not going to take those hips forward. We're going to keep them open in a warrior 2 position. We're going to take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to take the arms down into that warrior 2. We're going to push the right hip out to the right. And then we're going to slowly cartwheel those arms and come on down. Now the hand can come to the shin. It can come to your block, or it can go to the floor. I like to start a little higher and slowly work my way down. You're reaching out through that right hand. Not a lot of pressures on this left hand. So if I had you remove it at any point in time, nothing would change in that body. And of course, that right hand, the left hand is not anywhere on your knee joint. You're above it or you're below it. You're just going to reach and hold. You're going to feel that opening through the side waist. Maybe somewhere in the legs. Grip the mat with those toes. We're just opening up a little bit here. And let's go ahead and press through those feet, and we're going to gently come on up. Oh. Now we're going to take those hips forward. So they're going to come forward over the front leg. We're going to pull back on the left hip as we press that right hip forward, adjusting into this back foot if we need to. So you can move that back foot in order to get those hips forward, because I really want those hips forward. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Again, that block should be down at the foot. This time we're going to push our booty back. So we're just going to pop it back, and then we're going to slowly come down. Nice flat back. Now I feel the pull through my hamstring. Okay, well now we're going to release the hands to the body, not the knee joint, the block. Or if you can maintain a flat back, you can go all the way to the floor. I can't get there right now without having a rounded spine. So I'm going to go ahead and just work with my block and come into this position here. Now this front leg is straight. There is no bending. Okay, we are working on that hamstring and all the posterior muscles here in this upper leg. And I don't want to take those out of the equation by bending the knee. So we are keeping the leg straight. If you need to, you're going to come up higher in order to get that leg straight. But do not compromise by bending the knee to get lower. Shoulders are relaxed. You can take that head, reaching out through the crown of it, keeping the gaze, maybe down at the foot, maybe at the leg. Those shoulders are down. We're not rounding through that spine yet. Check those hips. Are you pulling back on the left? Are you pushing that right hip forward? Are you feeling it along the back of the leg, up into the glute, maybe even into that low back? All right, nice big inhale. Now on this exhale, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to round and come a bit deeper. So let that head drop, belly is tight, and bringing the chest toward the thigh, shoulders relaxed. You should get a more intense stretch through that hamstring. All right, from here, we're going to come up halfway. So onto the shin or onto a block. We're going to work on what's called a closed twist. So we're going to take our body and we're going to take it into the leg. This is a lot more difficult. You really do have to have a lot more flexibility and be a lot more open. So a lot of us will need that block. Remember, you have the highest setting, the medium, and the low. You're also welcome to just use that body. You don't even have to get into the twist, right? We can just stay right here with the right hand to the shin, the left hand to the hip, and we are dropping that right shoulder as we're twisting and looking toward the left side of the body. So don't feel like you have to be in that twist. If that's something that is just not working for you, that is okay. I like to place my right hand on the block at its highest setting to start with. My left hand just comes to my hip and I drop my right shoulder as I start to twist and look to that left side. As this starts to release, then you can come lower, as long as you're able to maintain that range of motion without pain. Breathe through it. Pull that belly in. And let's go ahead and rotate. Come back to the front. You're going to bend the front knee, push off with that back leg, and come into forward fold. Now you can jog those legs. You can shake out that left and then that right. Whatever helps you to release and feel better. All right, let's go ahead and bend those knees. Just slowly come back up. Shoulder roll at the top. We are going to step back now with the left foot. So again, it's not super wide, right? We're not in a warrior position. It is warrior feet, but not warrior position. Front foot is pointing forward, back foot is to the side. So we're going to start with that warrior two arms, shoulder blades down and together. We're going to reach out. So we're going to pop that left hip back as we slowly bring that right arm down. So on the body, not on the knee or on a block, we're going to reach up with the left hand so that we can release any tension from this right hand. We're going to breathe into that side waist, just opening up through the waist, through the side body. Nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to use the strength in our core to lift that body up, releasing those hands down. Now we're going to turn that chest forward, bringing those hip bones forward, the chest points forward, adjusting that back foot how we need to. Pull up on that front kneecap. So this will be your right kneecap. You're pulling it up and just tightening through that muscle, which will help us to relax that hamstring. Again, hands can be on the leg as you slowly come down. If you'd like to do it in a more formal way, it's arms reach up and you reach out as you come down. You feel the pull, the hands relax to the body or maybe the block. Check your hips, pull back on the right, push that left hip forward. Feel the stretch along the back of the upper leg, right? Choose your level of block. But don't let those hips be compromised. Keep that front leg straight, tightening through that kneecap. Reaching out through the crown. The back is flat right now. Shoulders are pressed away. Breathe into this. One more big inhale. As we exhale, if you'd like to round your back and come deeper, let your head just drop, pull that belly in, taking the chest closer to the thigh, you're welcome to, or you can stay just where you were. All right, we're going to go ahead and come up just about halfway. So this is where we get to choose whether or not we use that block to the inside, and we're going to open up, right? Or we use our hands to the body or to the floor. You're going to pull that belly in nice and tight. We're going to pull back on that left shoulder. Once we get that chest around, then the arm comes up, or it can stay on the hip. Your gaze can be up, to the side, or down at the floor. But again, if we remove that right hand, we don't move, right? So we're really reaching out through that left arm. Gripping the mat with those toes. And now we're going to go ahead and release it back to the front. So moving into our closed twist, let's go ahead and bring that left hip down. We're pulling back on the right hip as we're pressing that left hip forward. Now we can use that block. Remember, each side is different. So maybe on this one, you'll have to move a little higher. From here, right hand to the right hip, we're going to drop the left shoulder and we're going to drop the left hip. And we're just going to look over that right side. So I am a lot tighter on this side, and I really struggle to get this right shoulder open to the side. So I'm going to stay here. But if you can keep going, you're going to go ahead and release that arm all the way up to the ceiling. Breathe. Remember, if there's ever a cramp or anything, we're going to stop. We're going to release and maybe do something else, or get back into it if we feel like we can. And let's go ahead and slowly release it down. Pushing off with that back foot, coming up, shaking out that right leg if you need to, and the left, maybe just jogging those heels. Whatever you like to do, find your way back into forward fold with the crown dropping. We're going to step back with the right, and we're going to rotate to the right, coming into a wide forward fold, wide-legged forward fold, or standing straddle, as it's also known. Of course, you can have that block right underneath those hands if you need to. Let's go ahead and start by finding our nice flat back. The toes are pointed forward, so our feet are parallel to each other. We're rolling out through the pinky toe, bringing the weight to the outside of the foot, and you're going to feel that stretch along the outside of the ankle and maybe up the side of the shin. Those are called your peroneals. Those hands are directly underneath those shoulders. Let's go ahead and reach out through the crown of the head as we drop those shoulder blades down. We have a nice flat back. That belly is nice and tight. Hold and reach. Nice big inhale. As we exhale now, we're going to go ahead and round and come deeper into the pose. So if you would like to, you can take those hands behind the heels. You can hold on to those ankles. Anything that helps you to bring yourself closer to the floor. The idea is that you're bringing the crown of the head closer to the floor. But if you just want to stay in that beginning position, go ahead. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you're moving gently into whatever position you have decided. Relaxing through the stretch. Nice big inhale. And exhale. All right, we're going to go ahead and move back to the front of the mat. We are going to take a knee, and then we're going to bring the other knee down. So we're back into our tabletop position. We're going to move in cat and cow again. So nice wide fingers, knees right underneath those hips. Drop that belly, look up, nice big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to tuck and round. Drop, look up. Tuck and round. One more time. Drop and look up. And tuck and round. Coming to the center, we're going to move into extended puppy. So you're on all fours, and all we're going to do is reach those hands out to the front of the mat. The hips stay over the knees, so we're not coming back or coming forward. Staying right there, we're going to reach the hands out. When we can't go any further, now we're going to press our chest toward the floor. So we're thinking about taking the inside of the arms to the floor as well as the nipple line to the floor. So it's literally just the chest that comes down. That forehead can come to the mat. If your chest can actually touch the mat, then it's going to be chin down. And as you're laying here, you're just pressing the chest deeper and deeper. You can come up onto those fingertips. You can keep the palms flat. You can take the hands wide. You can take them narrow. Pull that belly in. And let's go ahead and tighten that tummy. You're going to either walk those hands in and then press, or where they are, push the palms down and gently come up. Make sure there's no pain in that elbow. You're going to go ahead and walk those hands back to the center. So back into that tabletop position. So now we're going to move into a thread the needle pose. So we're going to go ahead and take the left hand behind the right, and those fingertips are pointing away from the body. We're going to slowly walk the left shoulder down to the mat. Now, if your left shoulder will not touch the mat, you can use that block to rest the shoulder on instead. So use that prop if you need to, but you're just going to keep walking. Take the left shoulder all the way to the mat. So you are literally pushing that shoulder down. The right hand, this is just kind of pressure against the mat to help you drop that left shoulder. Now, at this point in time, you're welcome to stay here. If you want to go a little further, you have the option of continuing that torso twist, looking over the right shoulder, looking up at the ceiling. You can take that arm straight up, or you can bring it behind your back. I personally like to have my hand here because I really like to push through that rotation, but everyone is different, and whatever works for you is fine. Make sure you're pulling that belly in nice and tight. Belly tight, gently come on up. We're going to go ahead and move to that other side. So we're going to take the right hand behind the left, fingertips away from the body. We're going to walk those fingertips away as we drop the right shoulder down to the mat or to a block. Once that shoulder makes contact, then we can push through that left hand and look over the shoulder. Shoulder blades are down. And tummy tight, and we're just going to gently come on up back into that tabletop position. All right, so from here, we're going to move into a downward dog. Downward dog is excellent for that spine. It is a perfect balance of stretch and strengthen. We're going to take nice wide fingers, wrists directly underneath those shoulders, knees directly underneath those hips. We're going to curl the toes. Nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're keeping the knees bent as we push through the palms and bring our chest toward those knees. Now, I want you to keep bent knee position because really what we're focusing here is on the spine. Shoulder blades away from the ears, tailbone to the ceiling, pushing that chest toward those thighs, feeling the stretch and the strengthen all up and down that spine. You are welcome to maintain this position, or if you'd like to, you can add the legs, but do not allow the leg addition to change that upper body position whatsoever. You can also press both heels down.
pushing that chest in. Use the palm and pinky fingers to really get some leverage to help press your chest toward those thighs, keeping that belly pulled in and that tailbone pointed up toward the ceiling. Shoulder blades are moving away from the ears, and we're holding and breathing. And let's go ahead and take it back down onto the knees. Take your time, one at a time. Let's go ahead and just sit back into a child's pose. So just a nice, easy release, letting that head drop. And let's go ahead and gently come back up, finding your way back into tabletop. So we're going to go ahead and move down onto the belly. I like to, from here, just walk my legs out and then just slowly bring my body down. So we're going to start with a locust. No, let's do cobra instead. Like how I just change it on the fly. So for this, our elbows are into the body, shoulder blades down, tummy's tight. We're reaching out through the crown of the head. We're heavy through those hips, top of the feet on the mat. So from here, you're just going to lift your chest, your torso off the body, off the floor, excuse me. All right, readjust those hands if you need to. So this position here, we have a Sphinx pose. You're welcome to keep reaching out through the top of the head, or you can go ahead and just look forward. If you want to take this a little bit further, press through those hands and start to come up, moving more into a cobra. Shoulder blades down, tummy is tight. Just whatever feels good for you. Please make sure that you are squeezing those glutes nice and tight as you come up, especially in the higher positions. We're just helping out that low back. Hold and breathe. Shoulders are down. If this is too much on the low back, I want you to come down a level or come all the way back down. All right, listen to your body. Shoulders down, lifting through the heart, reaching out through the top of the head. We're holding here. And now let's go ahead and slowly come down. Ugh. All right, now let's go ahead and move into locust, and then we're going to take it back into child's pose. So locust pose, those hands come back, the palms are facing the ceiling. Shoulders are pressed down and away. So we can take this into a couple different stages. Let's go ahead and start with just lifting the legs off the floor. The crown of the head you're reaching out of. If you're feeling like you can take it, we're going to just lift or peel the chest off the floor. And then we're going to try to lift both hands. We're reaching back toward the feet with the hands, and we're reaching back with the pads of the feet, trying to separate those toes. Breathe. Your gaze should be down at the floor, nowhere else. Reaching out through the top of the head and back through the pads of the feet. Breathe as deeply as you can. One more time. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and take those hands next to the chest. Pull that belly in and let's press up and just move straight into child's pose. But I want you to take some time here. Don't move too quickly. Nice and easy. Those moves right there were to strengthen that spine. So let's just give it a little stretch. You can place your hands underneath your head. You can take those hands next to the arches of the feet. Whatever you need to do, maybe a block in between those knees, to get nice and relaxed and just allow that spine to release. One more breath. And gently coming up into that tabletop position. I'm going to readjust myself because I've moved a bit off of my mat. So we're going to find our way back into tabletop. Let's go through another cat and cow drop. Look up. Nice big inhale. Exhale, tuck and round. Feel that mobility, that opening through the spine. Drop and look up. Inhale. Tuck and round. One more time. Drop, look up, inhale. Exhale, tuck and round. All right, let's go ahead and take it into neutral. And then we're going to go ahead and have a seat on our glutes. So however you would like to manage that. We're going to take those legs out straight, finding our way into a seated staff, but just momentarily. This is our transition pose. So let's go ahead now and take the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Right foot outside of the left leg. We are going to hug in with the left arm. Now you can pull it in this way, or if you have a little more mobility, you can take the elbow to the outside of the knee and push the elbow into the leg. I'm going to demonstrate from this hug position because this is the one that most people are going to be able to do. We're going to take that right hand behind us. This hand is to help us get up nice and tall. So lift that spine, reach out through the top of the head, take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're pulling the knee to the chest at the same time, pulling the belly button in, lifting up and out and trying to look over this right shoulder. Those shoulder blades are down. Tummy is tight. And now see if you can breathe into that chest. And release, coming back to the center. And let's go ahead and switch. So both legs are out. Now we're going to take the left over the right. We're going to hug in with the right. Left hand comes behind. Pull that tummy in, lift up tall, big inhale. Exhale, lift up and over. Exhale and look behind the left shoulder. Keep pulling that right knee, the left knee into the chest with the right arm to feel the outside of the hip. As in this twist, we release through that spine, all along that spine. Sometimes in this position, my back will pop, give a little release. It always feels so good. But I was just at the chiropractor, so I'm nice and loose, feeling good. One more big inhale. And exhale, let's release and come to the center. All right, we're going to move to the floor. We have one more release I want to show you that's excellent for your spine. And then I'm also going to show you an optional bridge traction or back traction position. It's totally optional, but I do want to walk through it with you. So if you have a block, please have it nearby. To do the traction pose, you really do need a block. I don't even think I would tell you to even try it if you didn't have a block, because you're going to be so focused on your glutes and hamstrings that spine is not going to be able to get the release it needs. So only do the back traction if you have the block. So I'm just going to place my block right over here. So let's go ahead and come down in a very controlled manner, tummy tight, arms reach out. We're going to tuck that tailbone, move onto the sacrum, lift the heart as long as we can. When we can no longer, then we're going to round and we're going to slowly come down onto our back. Now, ab strength is a very important component of back health. So although we didn't work the stomach today, I really focused mostly on the back. I want you to be aware that you do need to strengthen those abdominal muscles in order to support your back. So make sure that you are working those abs. From this position here, we're just going to have that bent knee position. We're going to bring the knees into the chest. You can do it one at a time, or you can bring them together. And I want you to grab just below the knees. And what you're doing here is just pulling the knees into the chest and just giving a little release into that low back. We're going to move into happy baby, or it's also called dead bug. So on this next one, pull the knees in and hold. Flex your feet. We're going to take the feet to the ceiling. So we have this bend in our knee with our flat feet pointing up at the ceiling. We're going to take those hands to the inside of the body. So inside of the leg, you're either going to grab the ankle, the shin, or the arches of the feet. And the idea is that we're taking the knee to the outside of the body. Take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, push the knees to the outside of the body, feeling that openness through the hips. Now you can take those heels together to get less feeling or further away for this to be a bit spicier. So if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you're taking the heels away from each other. If the stretch is too much, you're bringing those heels toward each other. Try to relax through the crease of the hip. And now I want you to focus on being heavy in the tailbone. Breathe. All right, one more big inhale. And exhale, heels toward each other, and then release it to the floor. So if you're not going to do the back traction pose, I want you to go ahead and just find yourself into your Shavasana position. Maybe take a couple of those extra stretches of poses that you liked while we're doing this. Of course, you can also just turn it off and do Shavasana on your own. Completely up to you. So I'm going to show you a couple ways that I have learned to do this. There are different ways you can position the block, and I've heard different theories and have different understandings of position based on what hurts. And I will just say, do what feels the most comfortable to you, because everybody kind of has their own opinion on it. So I don't really know what works best. I will show you what works best for me. So we're going to find our way into bent knee, feet right underneath, or walked as close to the glutes as you can. Hands on either side, or I have one hand on the block, and I'm going to lift and squeeze. So I'm squeezing my glutes and lifting up into block. I then like to come up onto my pads of the feet so that I can really come up high, and I'm going to get this block right underneath the hips and release it down. Now, in this position where you are parallel to the hips or riding the same line along the hips, a horizontal position, you want to make sure it's not on the low back. Okay. This is actually below that low back on the sacrum, right? So it's a bit lower than you think. From here, you're going to release and just get nice and comfortable. Okay. I personally don't like this position. This actually kind of aggravates my low back. If it's acting up, this doesn't feel good. So what I do instead is I run with my spine, and I just find a place on my spine that feels good. So this is on my low back, and it runs down through onto my sacrum. And I just find the spot that works for me. That feels really good to me. And you're just going to relax in this position here. You can tuck that chin and just reach out through the crown of the head. I want this neck to be really long back here. Those shoulders to draw back. And I want you to release into the body. So you're really heavy through those hips and just relaxing down. Now, if either of these positions does not work for you, it is not comfortable, it hurts, your doctor told you not to do it, please come out of it and just find your way into your Shavasana. You can come out of this anytime you like. I'm going to go ahead and carry you through Shavasana in this traction pose and leave it up to you how long you want to be here. Of course, also, please be aware if there is a numbing, tingling, any strange sensation, please come out. Please come out of this. All right. Relaxing back, closing those eyes. Let's go ahead and make our way into our Shavasana. You're thinking about slowing that heart rate down by taking nice deep inhales. As we exhale, we're finding any points of tension in the body and we're just releasing them. Think about relaxing the jaw, feeling the tongue fall back. You're releasing any tension from around the eyes, relaxing any muscles in the temples and along the forehead. I want you to feel your head growing heavy. You're not resisting. You're relaxing through the neck and throat. Feel those shoulders draw back. The arms relax. As you breathe, those arms grow heavier and heavier. Relaxing down the spine. Releasing the abs and hips. Feeling your low body grow heavy. As you exhale, you're just sinking further back, feeling no resistance. Namaste.